Good morning, students. Today we are going to see a very important lesson of history, and that is nationalism in Europe. So about this lesson, and as you know very well, we people are so much interested in European history because once upon a time these people, they were so much supreme and they considered themselves as a supreme person, isn't it? There is the one technical word you might have heard about it. It's called white man's burden. These people thought that it is the duty of these white people that they have to civilize the world. Okay, so these people, when you also heard about it, that Britishers, they were having such a big empire that sun never set upon their empire. What does it mean actually? Because these people, because of their policies, because of their aggressive policies, they expanded their empire throughout the world. Okay, so you can see the map here. Okay, so in this map, if you see, there are different countries and very small countries they are, isn't it? For example, Kingdom of Bohemia, then Archduchy of Austria. If you see the modern map of Europe, you will find out that there is no such kind of countries existing today. What is the reason behind it? Have you heard about it? So you have to find about it. Okay, so these countries doesn't exist today. Why they don't exist? And how the Europe changed, what were the reasons behind it, and which factors caused the disintegration of Europe, and it got separated into small countries that we are going to see in this lesson. Okay, so let's begin. So our today's lesson is nationalism in Europe. Okay, so first of all, you can see this image. First of all, we are going to discuss about this image. So if you observe this image properly, you can see if you see this image, you can observe one thing here. There is a big line of the people, isn't it? Then there is a Statue of Liberty. Okay, and if you see in the skies, different divine people, okay, or their divinities, they are standing over there and they are giving the blessings. What does it mean? Okay, this picture actually, it was drawn by Frederick Rossio. Okay, and if you observe it carefully, actually it was the picture of Europe in 19th century. So what does it mean? Let's try to understand this. Okay, so first of all, this is the picture of republic. So to understand this, we have to go back in history. We have to understand this first. What was the condition of Europe? Okay, so if you go back in history, you will understand there was complete monarchy in the Europe. Okay, and everywhere there were the kings, there were the subjects, and the subjects was ruled by the king, isn't it? So in this picture, Frederick Rossio, he wants to depict that there will be a republic, and this republic will be controlled by the people, not by a single king. Okay, so what does it mean? Let's try to understand. So first of all, here you can see there is a Statue of Liberty. She is holding enlightenment lamp in her hand, and in another hand, it's very unclear, I know that, but you have to understand this. In her right hand, there is a Charter of Fundamental Rights. Okay, so this is a Statue of Liberty. Then you can see there is a big row, isn't it? The people, they are moving in a queue. Somewhere they are heading. Where they are heading? They are heading from before Statue of Liberty, isn't it? So here you can see Scotland and America. They already, by this time, in 1848, by this time they were already republic. Okay, so they have crossed Statue of Liberty, but the people behind them, still they were not republic. For example, Austria, then Russia, then Prussia. Okay, these people, they were not republic, means they are behind Statue of Liberty and they are going to be a republic country afterwards. Okay, chalo, fine. This is one thing. Then here you can see these small things, some shackles are there. If you see this picture in the textbook, you will understand clearly. Actually, it's unclear, I know that. Okay, so there are small pieces of something. What are those pieces? These pieces modify that they are the shackles of absolutist government. What is this absolutist government? Absolutist government is a monarchy. Okay, so whatever the king will say, that will be the final decision, isn't it? So absolutist government means it was the shackle. By this time, this absolutist government was tortured, or we can say tattered in shackles. Okay, so anymore there will be no absolutist government will be existing in the future. That Frederick Sorio wants to tell us. Then fourth thing, if you see on the top, there are different divine people of Christian. Okay, so these people, they are giving the blessings. If there is a republic in the world, you will get the blessings. Okay, so that this picture wants to say. I hope you might have understood this picture. Okay, so chalo fine, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Yeah, so very important part that we are going to learn in this lesson, that is what is a nation. Okay, for example, I just want to ask you what is the definition, what can be the definition of nationalism. Okay, so for example, if I have a love for my country, okay, but it doesn't mean that I have to dominate other country, isn't it? That is the core of this lesson. Okay, if I love my India, it's okay, there is no problem, but it doesn't give you authority to hate Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, isn't it? Same like that, what the Ernest Renan, he says, very nice definition he has given. Okay, in short, I will tell you what he wants to say. He says, the real people of a specific country, they are the citizen and they must be the ruler of that country. Okay, the people, those who are coming from foreign countries, they are invading a specific land or they are trying to torture the people, and actually they are not resident of that country, but still they are coming from somewhere and they are torturing the people, isn't it? So what I want to say, Ernest Renan says the Delhi plebiscite, it is the core of the nation. Okay, they are real ruler of the nation. Okay, so what he's saying, a nation is the culmination of long past of endeavors, sacrifice and devotion, a heroic past, great men, glory, that is the social capital upon which one bases a national idea. To have common glories in the past, to have a common will in the present, to have performed great deeds together, to wish to perform still more, these are the essential conditions of being a people. A nation is therefore a large-scale solidarity. Its existence is a daily plebiscite. Okay, what he says, daily plebiscite, it is that the existence of a nation. A province is its inhabitants. If anyone has the right to be consulted, then they are the people. Whom to ask? What the decision should be taken about a nation? Whom to ask about it? For this, not the king, but the people must be consulted. See, his thoughts, they are leading towards the democracy. Okay, so against his will, the existence of nations is a good thing, a necessity even. Their existence is a guarantee of liberty which would be lost if the world had only one law and only one master. Very important statement, because last year we have heard about Nazism. Okay, so in that, it was the slogan of Hitler, isn't it? You must have heard about it. One nation, one empire and one ruler. But if such kind of ruling comes in the world, it means that you are going to destroy the fundamental rights of the people, isn't it? You are going to destroy the humanity. So to stop this, the people, the real people of that country, they should understand that we are here and we will rule this country and nobody else has the right to invade any other country. Okay, so I think you might have understood this, what exactly he wants to say, because the book, when he wrote this, What is a Nation, at that time there was complete monarchy everywhere. Everywhere in the Europe there was monarchy. So he wants to say, he wants to convey the real message of monarchy, nation. What can be the nation? So the nation can be the real people. Okay, the people of that country, not the conqueror or not the king. Okay, chalo, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Yes, the French Revolution and idea of the nation. This we are going to discuss now. Okay, so last year in 9th standard we have heard about French Revolution, isn't it? So in French Revolution, you know very well, there were 3 estates. Okay, and how those people, they were fighting amongst themselves. So I am not going to revise that again, you know that very well. Okay, but after French Revolution, there were few ideas, which a few technical terms, they evolved from this. What were those technical ideas and what was that point? Let's talk about it. So you can see some technical terms are there. Ideas of la patrie, you can see here la patrie and la citoyenne. Okay, what is this la patrie and la citoyenne? Let's talk about this first. Earlier in monarchy there were only two parties, nobility and the subject, king and the subject. But henceforward this will not be the subject, they will be the citizens. So it's a French word. Okay, la patrie and la citoyenne. Okay, la patrie means fatherland. It is the nation of ours, not a single king. Okay, and la citoyenne means citizenship. We are citizens, we are no subject anymore. Okay, then new French tricolor flag for royal army. Okay, it was used. Then estate general, you know very well, estate general was composed of three estates. Okay, first, second, third. In first estate there was clergy, in second estate it was nobility, and third they were peasants, artisans, common men, peasantry, poor people. Okay, so earlier it was called estate general, but this word, you know, can you answer me why it was changed, why it was converted into National Assembly from estate general? Yes, because estate general symbolizes that it is showing the distinction among the people. Okay, but National Assembly, it is now a nation, and this is the assembly where all people will gather, and there will be no any kind of inequality, all people will be same. Okay, so that is National Assembly. Then after French Revolution, what happened? New hymns were composed. Earlier the hymns were just related to the king. Okay, but afterwards these hymns, they were composed about the nation. So if you see, after French Revolution, Marseillaise, that is the national anthem of France, they were singing this song, and the common people, they were just leading towards the Austria to give a fight. All people were common. They were not trained soldiers, but they were thinking, by the efforts we have got such a liberty, we have got this republic, and to protect it, it's our duty. So if we want to protect it, we have to move there. Okay, and that's why these people, they themselves moved there. Okay, next, oaths were taken, then martyrs were commemorated, okay, in the name of the nation. Then there was a centralized administrative system by Napoleon. Okay, we are going to study about him, who was the Napoleon. Then uniform laws for everyone. Everybody will be same in front of the law. Everybody will be the same in front of the constitution. Nobody will be spared if he commits any offense. Then uniform system of weights and measures was adopted. Why this? That we are going to see afterwards. It's a very complicated and very strange idea which was existent at that time. Next, regional dialects were discouraged, and French, as it was spoken and written in Paris, became the common language of the nation. Okay, next, idea spreading by army of Napoleon in Europe. As Napoleon, after 1804, he started invading many countries. You will see, Napoleon was the first person who came from a poor family. Actually, he was from nobility, but his ancestors, they were not from the nobility. Okay, and he was a dictator, he was in military, and in military he was so popular, so he takes the complete charge, okay, and takes the France in his hands. How the directory fails to rule the France, that we have seen last year. Now, Napoleon takes everything in his hands and he starts to invade the Europe everywhere. If you see the history of Europe from 1805 to 1815, these 10 years, they are completely, we can say, diminishing years for the Europe. Because everywhere for these 10 years, every nation from the Europe, they were planning to stop Napoleon. He was such a brave personality. Okay, so about Napoleon it is said that when the Napoleon was standing in the battlefield, it was equal to 1 lakh soldiers. Okay, that was the weightage of Napoleon. So let me ask you one question. Do you know there was one Indian? Same statement was said about that Indian. Do you know who is that Indian? Yeah, absolutely correct. He is Bajirao. Okay, chalo, fine. So ideas spreading by army of Napoleon in Europe, these all ideas which evolved from French Revolution, they were being spread everywhere by these people. ओके चलो फाइन, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Yes, this you can see actually in last year again there was one picture. Okay, in that there was Bastille Fort. Okay, this is a Bastille Fort. Okay, and this fort, if you see, this fort is from Germany. Okay, now the German people, they are taking encouragement, they are taking inspiration from this French people. Okay, so what do they want to say? Let's talk about it. Okay, so the cover of German almanac designed by the journalist Andreas Rebmann in 1798. The image of the French Bastille being stormed by the revolutionary, here you know very well, on the Bastille fort, it was stormed by the people. Then a crowd has been placed next to a similar fortress meant to represent the bastion of despotic rule in the German provinces of Kassel. Accompanying the illustration is the slogan, "The people must seize their own freedom." Rebmann lived in the city of Mainz and was a member of German Jacobin group. Okay, chalo. Yeah. Now, when the French Revolution was over and Napoleon takes charge of the France and completely he is ruling the France. So at that time, there was a Napoleonic code. What is this Napoleonic code? Okay, or we can also call it Civil Code of 1804. What is this Napoleonic code? What changes Napoleon brought? You know, Napoleon was considered as a harbinger of liberty or modernizer, he was called, and definitely few things which he has done, that definitely means very interesting, which completely changed the face of Europe. Okay, what were those changes? Let's talk about it. So first, the Napoleonic code which he brought in 1804, there were few rules. The first among them was no privileges based on the birth. Earlier, what was the system in France? If you are born in clergy, if you are born in liberty, then by birth only you will get the privilege. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to prove that you are a meritorious student. Okay, directly you will get the privileges from the government. Okay, but in Napoleonic era, you can see, if you are a meritorious person, if you are a brave person, and if you have proven yourself, only then you will get the privileges. Okay, so isn't it, it's a nice idea. Okay, chalo next. In our today's world also, you have to see, you can see that we have to prove ourselves first. If we prove, then only you will get the facilities. So this is the fundamental of democracy, isn't it? So France is moving towards democracy. Next, all are equal before the law. Then administrative divisions, they were simplified in the Dutch Republic, Switzerland, Italy and Germany. Wherever he has invaded, in those areas, he just simplified these administrative divisions. Next, feudal system was abolished. What was feudal system? Yes, so feudal system is means the people, they have to give the tax to two people. Means today, in our today's era, you can see we give only one tax, isn't it? That is to government. Okay, but in France you have to give the tax to two ways. One, you have to give the tax to the king, and second, those who will be the Jahagirdar, we can say, or Subedar, or knights, we can say, you have to give them tax also. Okay, next, then peasants were freed from serfdom and manorial dues. Okay, so what is this serfdom? Serfdom means this is a kind of bonded labor where people will come, and once they are bound to a specific place to work, then they can't move from there. They have to spend their full life there only. This is kind of bonded labor. Okay, this was updated version of that. Okay, it was kind of slavery. Okay, next, so he stopped that. Then guild restrictions were removed to trade freely. He was thinking that if there is a liberal ideas, they are moving from one place to another place. If the people they are trading from one place to another place, there will be a development of Europe also, of France also, and of that specific country also, isn't it? So all the restrictions he just took out. Okay, so let me ask you one question. You have to find it out from the Google. In our India, in which year there was a system where we allowed other foreign countries to come in our India and to establish their own companies. That is called MNCs, isn't it? So you just have to find it out. What are your those ratios? You just find it out. Okay, so आगे बढ़ते हैं. That as I told you, guild restrictions were removed to trade freely. Then transport and communication systems, they were improved. As you know very well, that the roads, train and the transportation system, it is the basis for the development of the world or any country. So because of this system, it becomes fast. And if it is fast, your economy will also run fast, isn't it? So common national currency in Europe, we are going to see that in the future, that how there was a different systems in Europe, that everywhere the currency was different. Okay, and the value of that currency was also different everywhere. So if we Napoleon changed that and he just unified everything. Next, so as this was the golden rules formed by the Napoleon, and he was distributing or he was delivering these rules to the world, that's why people were very happy. Somewhere the people, they were thinking that these are good things. Somewhere the people were thinking that Napoleon is trying to become a dictator. Okay, so what were the responses to this? Let's see. First, in Holland and Switzerland, you can see in Brussels, Mainz, Milan and Warsaw. These are the cities of Europe. The French armies were welcomed as a harbinger of liberty. As I told you, by that time, except US, except America, only and Scotland, okay, only France was the one country where the monarchy was abdicated and a common man from military he was ruling the world. Okay, and these people now they are talking about the liberty. Now that's why wherever his army is going, wherever they are invading, they are welcomed by the people, because those people they are still living in monarchy and they were being tortured. That's why they are thinking, as he freed his own country, he will also give us freedom. Okay, so he was welcomed in Brussels, Mainz, Holland, Switzerland. Okay, next, but then it became clear that the new administrative arrangement did not go hand in hand with political freedom. But there was one problem in Napoleon's administration. Though he was giving the right to the people, but there was no political liberty. Political liberty means you can't go against Napoleon. Though he will talk about equality, though he will talk about meritorious system where privileges will not be given by the birth. Okay, he is speaking all goody things, but you know his system or his way of governing or administrating the people, it was not going hand in hand with political system. He is not going to give the freedom to the people. Okay, which freedom? Political freedom. You can't go against it. Okay, so in this way you will understand here, this was the turning point where the rule of Napoleon is going to get converted into dictatorship. Okay, next. Then increased taxation, censorship, it was imposed. Okay, forced conscription into the French armies. What do you mean by conscription? Okay, very important word this is. Will you please let me know? Conscription. Okay. What do you mean by conscription? Conscription was a kind of recruitment where people, those who are farmers, peasants, they were directly recruited in the army. Okay, and without any training. Means, of course, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months they will be trained and directly they will send for the battle, for the war. That was called conscription. So it was increasing. Then censorship, okay, and increased taxation was increasing in the Europe. Then all seem to outweigh the advantage of the administrative changes, and that's why people were not ready to accept all these changes because of all these things. Next, so this here you can see the picture. Okay, actually this tree we can call it as a tree of liberty. Okay, and these people, those who are climbing above that, they are French people. Okay, and there is one flag. You can see there is one flag. Something is written on that. What is written? Let me read it out for you. They are saying that this is a take freedom and equality from us, the model of humanity. Okay, let me repeat it again. What they are saying: take freedom and equality from us, the model of humanity. They are saying French people. Okay, so this is a symbolic, and actually this is sarcasm. Which kind of sarcasm? Let's see. Here there is a tree. On that tree, French people are standing. Okay, but here actually I know this is not clear, but you have to just go through it, go through the book. Okay, so this area and this area, you can see these people, French people, they are torturing the common man. Okay, and still they are talking about humanity and they are talking about liberty. How it's possible, isn't it? Sure. So this was the planting of a tree of liberty in Germany. Okay. Then that side you can see there is a picture of Napoleon. Okay. In this, what we can see? The first thing, Napoleon is having one rod in his hand. You know what does it depict? This rod means he is having a royal power in his hand. Complete power, supreme power of the France he has in his hand. Okay. And he is like a messenger. Okay. And as he is having the different letters in his bag, he is moving from one place to another, but his letters, they are just running away, okay, flying off. What is the reason behind it? What really they want to say from this? Actually, this is called the courier of Rhineland. When the Napoleon was winning one place and he was going ahead, but the place, whenever he crosses and goes ahead, the backside place, the backside country, it is revolting against him. Okay, so that does it depict. Okay, means he is going ahead, but all his letters and all his provinces which he conquered, they are just losing. Okay, sure, next. Yeah, now here our second part of the lesson starts. Very important it is. Okay, because in first part we just took a quick revision of French Revolution. But in this part, we are going to see after French Revolution what exactly happened in France, in Europe. Okay, so in this area, you see Europe was disintegrating. Okay, and forming small nations with a similar ethnicity. So what is that? Let's talk. The making of nationalism in Europe. In 18th century, if you see Germany, Italy, Switzerland, they were just divided into small cantons, duchies or kingdoms. Okay. Then in one empire, there were different identities. For example, if you compare it with our India, you will come to know that in India, there is one nation. But you can observe one thing, that many people are living in our India. How many languages we have? Officially there are 22 languages, and vernaculars there are above 1800, isn't it? But still we people are united. What is the reason behind it? The reason is we have same ethnicity. Okay, so in these areas also, these people, they are from different ethnicity, they are from different religion, they are from different identity and heritage, still they were living together because one ruler, one invader was ruling upon them. डर की जीत, ओके, डर का रूल वहां पे चल रहा था. तो यहां पे अगर आप देखोगे तो वन एम्पायर बट डिफरेंट आइडेंटिटीज, एथनिसिटीज एंड लैंग्वेजेस. सो फॉर एग्जांपल we can see the example of Habsburg Empire. Habsburg Empire was ruling over Austria and Hungary. Okay, the ruler of this empire was from Austria only, but forcefully he was also ruling over Hungary. Okay, so Habsburg Empire. So what can be the aspects of that empire? Let's see. So as I told you about the diversity, you can see here in Habsburg Empire, Alpine region, if you observe, then that Alpine region, Tyrol, Austria and Sudetenland, these areas were connected. Then Bohemia, German speaking aristocracy, these people were living. Then Lombardy and Venetia, Italian speaking people, they were living. Okay, it is near to Italy if you see the map. Then Hungary, Magyar language, 50% people, they were speaking Magyar language. Then Galicia, Polish speaking people are there. Okay, Bohemians, Slovaks, then Slovens in Carniola, Croats, Rumens in Transylvania. In this way, you can see there is a big diversity in Habsburg Empire. Okay, and of course, when there is a foreign invader, when there is a foreign ruler, people are not happy. They are trying to find out the way to come out of this rule. Only the thing is, it takes time. Because you know very well, a revolution cannot be created within one day. it takes hundreds, thousands, or many years to make a revolution. Okay, as you know very well, in our France, for a long time there was a the minds of the people, they were taking shape. Okay, chalo. But afterwards, finally in 1789, it just broke out, and then French Revolution occurred. Okay, so in this way, the making of nationalism, in this we are going to study about how the Germany was formed, modern Germany, then how the Italy, it was unified into single country. Actually it was divided into 7 parts, then it unified into one country. Then we'll talk about Germany, we'll talk about Greece, we will talk about England. Okay, so our next lectures are going to be very interesting. Till then, thank you so much. Have a good day.